Everyone, this is Shah from Ahmedabad, Academic Associate at Anand National University and co-founder of Sikka Collective. Sikka stands for Sustainable Indigenous Center for Collaborative Arts. We are a young art consultancy that work for the promotion and archival of indigenous art and architecture practices of the country, achieved through various tools and media. In the coming year, we aim to be one of the leading art consultancy in India that work for India's traditional art and bridge the gap between artisan and potential audience through the use of technology and design solutions using the medium of arts. A short story of how Sikka was formed. We are an all-women team led by a performance artist Nikita Sarkar and consisting of three architects Hesha Shah, Sadhya Bhatnagar and Divnur Kaur, who is also a visual artist. The team came together during 2020 while all of us were pursuing Anand Fellowship for Built Environment at Anand National University, Ahmedabad. Sikka was developed under the live action project part of fellowship where we were mentored by Dr. Amreshwar Galla along with various different field experts. United by passion to build something rooted in community work and promoting traditional Indian practices, the four of us have tried to find a niche and carve the current hybrid model through various pilot projects and on-ground research. Our work is categorized under the three verticals: education through art, community engagement, and digital partnership. Under education through art, we design programs and workshops with children focused on nature, upcycling, and art practices. We also organize experiential learning tours for rural immersion and exposure to indigenous knowledge. Through our artist residency, we create public art intervention in collaboration with local communities. These programs are conducted by local community members who collaborate with resident artists to create work that addresses the immediate concern of the host community. We also create digital partnerships through an online directory and network of artist residency spaces in non-urban areas. This platform is a unique bridge between rural artists and urban artists as well as art consumers. The spaces are entitled as Sikka Affiliate Spaces and the artists Sikka Associate Artists. Our experiential learning tours are designed as relative study programs for architecture and design students. These programs include staying with locals, studying vernacular architecture of the community, and documenting the same. The community immersion takes us a step closer to the community through collaboration, often by developing strategies to their needs like helping them be active over digital platforms. Our efforts in the field are released through three components: Sikka Associate Artists. The soul of Sikka are associate artists, are the artists that we work with in the rural parts of the country. They facilitate workshops on ground and are often the last generation practitioner of the respective art forms. The Sikka website is designed as a unique bridge between them and urban artists as well as in art consumers. It also acts as a marketplace, enabling them to sell digitally to their customers directly. Sikka Affiliate Spaces. The Sikka website provides an online platform for a network of art residency spaces titled as Sikka Affiliate Spaces in non-urban areas. These are the humble establishment of various rural and local artists who act as hosts, also providing space for holding workshops. These art centers are also available to individuals and groups wanting to experience rural getaways. There are three main objectives of this program. First, to create a community of students who advocate for sustainable tourism and experience-based education. Second, to mentor students based on their interest areas and to help sharpen their communication skill set. And last, to offer an opportunity to continue the model work practically on ground with more
Hello
focus and
and
detail.
welcome. SICCA, the Sustainable Indigenous Center for Collaborative Arts, does several modules, and today's workshop is going to be one of those experiential modules. Our aim is to get art to become a part of life, to bridge the gap between rural artists and urban consumers of art. Generally, all workshops that we do are facilitated by folk artists themselves, But today, the one that we're going to do with you is something that we actually do with college students. It's from a course called Modes of Storytelling, and we look at how we can connect our own identity with the living culture, the heritage, and the art that surrounds us. We very strongly believe that each of us has the potential of being an artist and definitely being a Rasik. It's just about honing that potential and also to really look at how we are connected to the world around us. Um, Everything from a dum cooked biryani that takes traditionally at least 4 to 5 hours to cook, um, up to cross stitch sceneries that I remember my grandmother teaching me are part of our heritage, our culture, our identity. And that is how we like to take the youth and create an entryway into the world of arts. Because once you really understand what art is, respecting it and then doing something about safeguarding it, it becomes part of who we are. So, we're going to start with a very simple exercise called the River of Life. And from the River of Life, we're going to move into something that is called the self portrait or the self installation. If time allows, then I would also like to work into our third phase of this, which is community building through art. But if time does not allow, I can always just tell you about it. So, thank you so much for being with us today. And let's get started. All right. The journey of discovering one's own living heritage, culture, and all the things that Sikha stands from actually starts from discovering yourself. And therefore, in today's workshop, we're going to look at a very simple exercise called the River of Life that helps us map out who we are and think a little about where we come from, who are the people that make us, and how is it that our living culture really connects with us. For this exercise, I'd first like you to do something very, very simple. I want you to take 3 pieces of paper or small post its and describe yourself in 3 adjectives. Don't think too much about it, just any 3 words that pop up in your mind first and foremost will do. So, for example, if I had to describe myself in 3 adjectives, I would say perhaps traveler, compassionate, and foodie. Similarly, whatever you think are the 3 words that describe you, just put it down on 3 pieces of paper. I'll give you perhaps a minute for this. All right, then. Once you're done with this, what I need you to do is take a paper and then make an actual river. A river that has a beginning and a river that has somewhere an end. Now, you could be somewhere in the middle of your river. The beginning, the iceberg, is always birth. But you could be perhaps just on the journey, just begun the journey, have covered a bit of it, and are looking forward to the rest of it. So you don't actually make it merging into the sea, but you start from the iceberg or from the valleys and come to whatever is called the present. So we're going from birth, which is the iceberg, to the present. The only things I want you to do are get creative and basically take the 3 words that you use to describe yourself and plot them on this river based on when you started identifying with those words. So just put them on that river in no particular order And then start thinking about why is it that you think you are these things? Um, is it that someone told you this? So, for example, I think I'm a foodie because I've been told this by a lot of people, but also now I've realized that it is a part of who I am. So, think about the people, think about the incidents, perhaps some very important episodes that have happened in life which have made you believe that you have these qualities. That's what step three is. It's cast your mind back over your life and look at why is it that you chose these three words to identify yourself with. Now, the last thing that I want you to do, and you can have 10 minutes for this entire plotting of the exercise. But the last thing I want you to do before going into reflection is think of whether there are distributaries that happen on this river because of these incidents that you've written down. Are there any turning points that have taught you something or made a lasting impact on who you are? You will have around 10 minutes for this exercise. All right, now let's look at what are the reflections. Gen- Generally, the river of life shows us a lot of things about ourselves, but this particular way of doing it, which is finding three words that describe yourself and then plotting it on the river to go into depth about what our identity holds for ourselves, actually brings forward what it is that we associate ourselves with. And this is why it's important for the next step. Now, as the next step, what I want you to do is look at your river of life and look at those three beautiful words that you've written and start thinking about your self image. All of you artists here. And what I'm going to implore you to do next is create a self portrait. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sketch, it could actually be a self installation, but it has to be a reflection of yourself, what you discovered while plotting those three words. And you can make it with whatever material you find in the room, around the room. In fact, you will have around 15 to 20 minutes to make this portrait of yours. And therefore, you can go out, look into the gardens. These are the reflective questions that I want you to think of when you're building your portrait, but your primary trigger are those three words that you've actually selected for yourselves. So go out there, try to find whatever you can to represent yourself best um, with those three words that you've chosen. So, yes, go have fun. You could make this with a leaf, you could sketch it, you could crumble paper and make a puppet. I once saw someone take a mop and a bucket and just put those together because they always thought of themselves, their self critique was so loud that they always thought of themselves as, yeah, as someone who's meant to just pick up garbage. But it just that choice opened up so many conversations. And therefore, I implore you to not find the easiest, but whatever is the best way of describing yourself, and that entire exercise you did right now in the form of an installation. Please go have fun. All right, so now that you're done with phase two, which is creating the self portrait or the self installation, what I want you to do is just stand back, put your three words on the table and your portrait on the table, and walk around the room. Look at everybody's portraits. Um, And then apart from your own, whichever calls you the most, just go stand next to it. You can take some time asking the owner why they've created the portrait or the installation in the way that they did. But I would encourage you to not talk amongst yourselves too much, but just try to observe the material that the creator has used to make their portrait. Observe the colors, observe any connection that the river of life has with what you see on the table as an installation, and just go stand by the one that calls to you the most apart from your own. You can take 2 minutes to do this. All right, thank you so much. Now that that is done, what I now need you to do is look at the clusters around yourselves and see who got pulled to what words. This is now your group. And what you're going to do is you're going to take each of your own portraits and puppets and installations and create a story. A story about the world that you would like to live in. A story about what we would like to create at the end of this conference, something as simple as that. So let's keep the theme absolutely bare minimum simple and say at the end of this conference, what is it that you would like to achieve? So, people you're standing around are your group. What you can do is sit together, discuss what your puppets are. So, introduce each of your puppets, installations, portraits to each other so that you have an idea about the characters that are going to play in this wonderful script that you're going to create. And then in the next 10 minutes, create a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you will have around 10 minutes to do this, 10 to 15. You can take a time check again later. But basically, you're just introducing your puppets as characters of one play that all of you write together about this conference and what you would like to attain by the end of it. Um, all the best. You could use music. You can use, of course, voiceovers for your puppets. You can also just do it in scenes. So if you have any doubts, of course, we're here to help you through it. But it really is a simple exploration and expression of your puppets. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, if we are ready, we can showcase our work to each other. And I would like to end. I hope, firstly, thank you everyone for being here. And I would like to actually end with a short clip. When we do modes of storytelling with our students, it's over a longer period of time than the short time that I had with all of you. But by the end of it, the products that or the kind of content that they come up with, the ways of capturing artists, art spaces, forms of art around them is so incredible that I did want to leave you with a small taste of it. So once we're done with showcasing our work to each other, the short play that we've made in the last 10 minutes, I would like to actually showcase one of the works that our past students has done in storytelling. So they've actually captured the story of an artist in a way that they felt more strongly about. And then yes, I think that's it for today. But thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. All right, bye bye.
एक थी परी नन्ही मुन्ही सी जिसकी माँ को थी नृत्य में रुचि और अपनी परी को डांस क्लास में डालने की सोची। 5 साल की परी भोपाल में रखे उसने पहले कदम डांस के रोड पर। तब से लेके आज तक ना रुकी वो किसी भी मोड़ पर। आज वो परी बन गई है कुड़ी। सीखा उसने बैले, जैज और कंटेम्पोररी। पहले जो डांस था उसके लिए एक जरिया, एक मौका दुनिया को कुछ कर दिखाने का। अब वो डांस था जरिया उसको अपने आप को जानने का। वो कहती, डांस समझने में पड़ाव 3: फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, वोकैबुलरी और म्यूजिक सेंस, जो बनाते हैं इस आर्ट फॉर्म को इंटेंस। पहला, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, अपने बॉडी को आसानी से मूव करने की क्षमता। दूसरा, वोकैबुलरी, डांस में एक अपना स्टाइल डेवलप करने की क्षमता। और तीसरा, म्यूजिक सेंस, म्यूजिक को परखने और समझने की क्षमता। अंततः वो कुड़ी यह सोच लेकर डांस करती है कि अगर डांस है आर्ट जैसे म्यूजिक, जहां इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स बनते हैं हमारी वाणी, वैसे डांस में हमारी बॉडी पहुंचाती है हर दिल तक एक कहानी।